Hello everyone, this is Candy the 614 Stitcher, and today is Sunday, May the 12th, 2024, and this is my Flosstube episode 119. I would like to first start off by saying Happy Mother's Day to everyone. I hope that you are having or will have a great day. I would also like to say welcome to any and all new subscribers. Even if you have been checking me out for a while, would you please consider hitting the like and subscribe button so that I may enable you with a project or two? And to my returning friends, thank you so very much for coming back each and every time that I do upload a video. It has been a little over, well, it's probably been more over than a week, but because I did my last video, I don't know when. It hasn't been that long ago, though. I think I did my last video on Tuesday, April the 30th. But I've had a few things going on, and so, you know, things happen in life. Has you take a turn, and then you have to adjust, and so that's what I'm doing. I have been stitching for mental health care, and I hope that all of you that are joining in or maybe joining in are enjoying your projects this month. I will be doing the new starts on or working on them on Wednesdays. So I have a couple of things to share with you. I also will be sharing my April stats, my whips, and I actually have a couple of finishes also that I'll be sharing. So we're going to go ahead on and jump right into it. For my April stats, I stitched 6,424 stitches. I worked on 16 projects for a total of 24 days. That's a daily average of 267 stitches. I had 4 finishes and 2 new starts. For the month of May, May the 1st jumped off the hashtag mental health care sal that I host every year in an effort to destigmatize mental health and also bring about mental health care awareness. This is an endeavor that is close to my heart, as I make it no secret that I have in the past and currently do still suffer from mental illness. I have suffered from depression and anxiety for most of my life, and so therefore it is something that is close to my heart. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in with my new start. I had a new start for mental health care May, and it is in my new project bag that was gifted to me by my friend Kate. And you know what? I know she said who this bag was by, but now I can't think of who she said. My new start was I Am Brave by Emily Call. I am stitching this. I started it on, I actually started it on Tuesday because something came up for Wednesday. So I started it on Tuesday, May the 7th. And here is where I am now. I put in 277 stitches on this project. I am using Atomic Ranch Vapors, 36 count, and I am using a hand dyed by Rolanda floss. It does not have a name. So I got a really good start in on I Am Brave. This is so this flower here, and then I came down the side, and I've also put in part of the border that will have the words inside of it. I am loving stitching on this and doing it as a monochromatic with the flosses. Really pretty. I am going to be using, what I'm thinking is that for both of these charts, I Am Enough and I Am Brave, I'm going to use the same fabric and floss. This bag is also, this will be my mental health care bag, as I've put all of my mental health care projects in this one bag. Well, 3 of the 5 that I'll be working on go in this bag. I'm also using that project for my magazine monthly cross stitch challenge group for the acrostic bicycle. It is the B, or it is the I in bicycle. Okay, so now on to my whips, and the first whip that I'm going to show you is what I worked on May the 1st for the start of the mental health care awareness. As soon as I find it, because my bag got my, there it is. And that is Beautiful Things by Lindy Stitches. Oh, my darling, it is true that beautiful things have scratches and dents, or dents and scratches too. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where it is now. I have put in this project was called For My Whip Go by Sarah of Our Stitching Kingdom. I've added 602 stitches to it, and it is also the B in my magazine monthly acrostic for bicycle. So what I have done is the flower bud head is completely finished, and then I outlined the leaf, and I came down and also outlined this flower here. I have 98 more stitches to add to this project to meet my whip go. I am stitching this on an 18 count Diversity by Mystic Fabrics, which it really matches back to the fabric that Stephanie Webb used when she stitched it. I am using the called for DMC and Classic Colorworks flosses on this chart. And I am loving it. Like, it took me 3 days to add the 600 stitches. So I've worked on this 3 times so far. I still have 98 stitches to go. And I know that I'm going to keep working on this throughout the month. So it will get over the 700 stitches because I'm going to keep working on it throughout the month. Even once, because I would like to see some good progress on it. I know that the words will go fast. This part here is the bulk of the stitching and the fence. So I want to keep working down the side so that I can get that in. And potentially have it a finish sooner rather than later. Not this year. It won't be finished this year. Like, I would have to scrap some other plans in order to get it finished this year, but I'm really loving that project and would love to get it completed. My next whip is January Cottage by Little House Needleworks, and it is one of my year of whips. And it also stands for the C in bicycle, or one of the C's, not both of them. And here's a picture of what the model looks like. And here's a picture of what it looked like when I last showed it. And here is where it is now. So I put in, okay, let me take this. This needle minder is very heavy on here. So I worked on getting this tree in. I put in 131 stitches. So I put in some more of this tree, and I also added, seems to me like I added another snowflake. And I also went over the roof snowflakes with the etoile that I've changed this up to. In going forward on this, I don't believe I'm going to, I initially thought that I would go through and put the etoile in all of the white stitches. I am not going to do that. It's not necessary and it's redundant. I think had I thought about it before, it would have been okay, but the snowflakes that are in the sky are sparkly. The rest of them will just be white. So I need to finish off this tree. This project is on my year of whips, so I do want it completed by the end of the year. And I added 131 stitches. And so there's where it is. I still need to add his top hat and finish off this tree. And then there is the bottom. What's on top here is also on the bottom. And so I need to put that in. And then I think I'll actually be completed with it. This is being stitched on a 14 count Ada, and I'm using the called for colors, with the exception of because the birthstone for January is a garnet, I chose to change my house and the word January to red to mimic the garnet color of the birthstone. That's where we are with that. I think if I, really buckle down, maybe 2 more stitching sessions and I can have this completed. And my goal on it is actually 200 stitches. So I still have another 70 stitches that I need to get in on it. 69, 70 stitches that I need to get in on it. So it'll be coming out again this month also. Okay. The next project that I'm going to show I use for Whippagories. And the Whippagory that I used it for is Sal. And I am working on 1 dozen Quakers as a Sal. Whippagories is a category stitch along done by Sammy J Stitches on Instagram and Flosstube. And I am working on 1 dozen Quakers. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here, I'm going to show you the whole piece. So there's my whole part. Where's my board at? So here's the whole thing. Now let me show you what I have worked on. This is being stitched on a 46 count fabric by Color and Cotton. It is a limited edition. And I worked on 2 different things. So I came in and I still need to finish working on this motif here. But this motif, EJ, I'm doing this with EJ of the Sunshine Stitchers. And she broke the board up. And so this part here was for April. And as it turned out, I had not gotten April finished by the time we did May. By the time we did the first stitching, we stitched on Zoom on the first Friday of the month for this project. So I came in and I put in I have Algerian eyelets that need to be put in for this motif here, and it will be completely finished. I then decided to go over and work on this motif here is for June and July, and May is all the way at the other end. So I'm just going to work my way across rather than trying to jump over here to do May. And I'm sorry about my phone ringing. I got notifications coming in. It's probably for Mother's Day. So I went ahead on and started the June-July portion of that middle motif, and that is where I've gotten to so far. I've added 402 stitches to this project this since you've seen it last. And the color that I am using for this center motif is called Soulmate, and I absolutely love it. This is the first time that I have used a Night Stalker calling floss. And here is what that floss looks like. It is highly variegated from, it has a little bit of orange in it, some mauve. It's very, very pretty. It's not coming up as is this variegated on the camera as what it is, but it is highly variegated. So this is on my Whippagories, and I have decided that for Whippagories I'll be putting in 200 stitches. So I've actually finished this, the Whippagories. I need to continue working on this though for the month. So it'll get probably another 2 more times before before the end of the month. Because I really want to put in a lot of progress. I'll be doing quite a bit of traveling in the near future, and so I won't be able to work on the 1 dozen Quakers very much. Like in the month of August, I'll be gone for almost 2 weeks, and it's not a piece that I'm going to travel with, so I need to stay ahead so that I can make sure that I'm going to finish this by the end of the year. Oh. Okay. So the next project that I worked on was it's also another Whippagori. And I'm trying to think. Well, okay, I know what it is because it's a travel piece also. Sometimes I have to stop and think, like, why did I work on this? But it's also, I deemed it a travel piece. I traveled to Keepsakes, where I was able to meet up with a friend. Jennifer, the calculated stitcher, was in for a retreat in Kentucky, and I don't have any pictures, and I was able to go down and meet with her and have dinner with her and the Wandering Stitcher, who is Liz, here on Flosstube and Instagram. And so since I was at Keepsakes on a non-normal Saturday that I wouldn't have normally gone down, I took and worked on Beach Please by Hands On Design. If you recall, this was my New Year, New Start that I worked on. There's a group of us, we're chat friends, and we all chose a pattern designer to work on for New Year, New Start. And Hands On Design was that, was voted on and chosen. And so that's what I worked on. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where it is now. So I put in 84 stitches and was able to finish the wave. And I think I might have also, well, the whale was already finished. So I finished the wave, and then I came over here and I started on the starfish. I am stitching this on perforated paper, as I want to have the finish on the name is just flew right out of my head. On the shadow box finish. I want to do a shadow box finish. So far I have 3 of the 9 that I need to have done. I actually colored this perforated paper with a paint pen in order to get it to be brown. So that is where I am now. I am using the called for DMC colors on this chart also. And here's the finish that I would like to do. Okay. And that was the Whippagori, and the Whippagori for that was a pattern older than 2023. Okay, my next project is my Sunday stitch, and it is my temperature turtles. And that is by Stitching Mommy Sarah on Instagram and also on Flosstube. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And I finished the April turtle last Sunday. and I put the head in for the May turtle. Because the way the turtles are stitched, like the day number 1 is way back here. So I'm actually going to be working from the head to the back in reverse order on this, on these two, if that makes sense. So, you know, in order to do that, I had to put his head in, put the head in first, right here. And then I'll start, I think it starts with like 7 or 8. And then I'll work my way backwards to the number 1. We did have some 80-degree days in April. So there's an 80-degree day, there's an 80-degree day, and there's another 80-degree day back here. I am loving this chart. It will be so cute once I get it all completed. We're about to start rolling into some warmer months, and so the colors will change. I am stitching this on a 32 count Whimsical by Be Stitch Me, and I am using a sulky conversion that I came up with for my area. And that is where I am on that. I used, oh, that's just my Sunday stitch. I actually put in 301 stitches last Sunday for that project. And barring, I shouldn't say barring. I know my son is coming over to visit me today for Mother's Day, so I may not be able to stitch on it very much for today, but I'll figure out a way to get some extra stitches in since I'll probably miss a big chunk of today with the stitching. So that was 301 stitches. My next project that I worked on was for my Whip-Go, which is number 19, and it was chosen by Christine, the Apothecary Stitcher here on YouTube. And it is, if you know Christine, and she is a great, go over and check her out. She is a great full coverage stitcher. She just finished a great full coverage piece. So please go over and check out the Apothecary Stitcher. I'll have her linked below. But she chose Purple Rain by Heaven and Earth Designs with the artwork by John Enright. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. Oh, and I probably should have took it out. And here's where it is now. So I put a lot of work in here. I have added 359 stitches when it is at I am at 7.67% complete. And because I'm doing this, I'm trying to get in as big chunks of color as possible. And so I'm still working on that very first purple color. But I'm going to have to, you know, move around and put in some other colors. There's a lot of, confetti is there is a lot of confetti in it, in the parts where I have not put in a whole lot of stitches. So I've been trying to do it where I have a whole lot of color, especially since I need to put in 700 stitches. So that is where it is. That's the whole piece. So I have the whole from side to side in, and I just keep coming down. So I need to, you know, start adding some over here. But that's a whole different shade. I'm trying to do like Stitching Mommy does and color complete, but it's very difficult. Like my brain is like, la, 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 la. Let's just keep stitching on all these big chunks of color. So that's what I've been doing. So this is where I have focused at for this here in this area. So I need to start filling in on that. This fabric is an 18 count hand dyed by EJ, and the threads are all anchored, and they were gifted to me by Miss Joy Lisa. So I will be continually working on this. I need to get in at least 700 stitches this month. It would be nice if I could get in maybe 1,000 stitches. Because I feel like I'm a little bit behind on my goal of 2,400 stitches for the year on this project. So, you know, I need to like ramp it up because I don't want to be, I want to be able to meet that goal of 2,400 stitches. And that is before I'll also be working on that project in the month of July for full coverage fanatics. So, sorry, I just cracked my hip. Oh, and it didn't really crack. It's just like, oh, there it goes. It's stuck. Ooh, that hurt. The project cover for this was made by my friend Debbie. And I appreciate her and love it so very much. So that's where I'm at. I need to put in, you know, I would like to get in another 400 stitches. Well, I have to get in at least 700 stitches on Purple Rain for my whip go. It would be nice if I could get in a total of like 1,000. I don't know that that's going to happen this month, but you know, we'll see what happens. Okay, and for the Whippagory, I have one more Whippagory, and it is a project that has words, and that is Home of a Needleworker by Little House Needleworks. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where it is now. I have added 438 stitches to this project. I put in needle, and this is the beginning of the W. What I have decided to do, I put in needle right here. I also put in this bobbin with the thread on it. I fixed the H. For some reason, like the thread was coming out right there, so I fix that. And that is where I am on this project right now. This is also on my year of whips, so I'll be working on it. I am stitching this on a 28 count vanilla cream by Atomic Ranch fabric. Vanilla cream. And for right now, what I'm doing is just going, because once I put my Nerge or the Q-snap on it, I can just go straight down. So that's what I've been doing. So the house and all of that will be over there. And I need to work on this upper border a little more. but that's where I am with that. And I added 438 stitches to it. I am really liking the progress that I'm getting. I'm using a lot of my Year of Whips for the Whipagories. So I'm, you know, it's a little extra bonus stitching on top of the projects that I'm already stitching on for the month for Magazine Monthly. So it's adding more stitches, not only to my stitch count, but also is getting those Year of Whips stitched. You know, I'm keeping them in the rotation and keeping them moving along. So my total, oh, let me keep going. So I have two finishes. And the first finish is, my first finish was, and I finished it on May the 2nd, is the Quirky Quaker Turtle. And that's what it looks like by Darling Whimsy Designs. And here is what mine looks like. If you recall, when I last showed this project, I used Cottage Garden threads for the shell. And so all I needed to do was finish the shell, and that's what I did. It took 32 stitches to finish this. And I just, she just released some more Quirky sea animals. So I'm going to leave this fabric intact, and that's what I'm going to use to stitch the other Quirky animals on. She came out with a stingray, a pufferfish. There's a couple of more. There's a couple of others that she's come out with that I'm going to get and stitch on this fabric so that I'll have a whole Quirky Quaker sea animal thingy, for lack of a better word. So that was finish number 1, and it took 32 stitches to finish it. And then for finish number 2 is a Year of Whip finish, and it is the Floral Fairy, and it took 188 stitches to finish her. And here she is. I used her as a Whipagory, and so the Whipagory for the no, I'll take that back. The Whipagory for the Quirky Quaker Turtle was closest to a finish, and so that's what I used for that, and I finished it. And then for the Floral Fairy, it is the Y in Bicycle for Year of Whips, and I finished this with 188 stitches. And I am so very proud. This is by Stitchy Princess Black, who is a Ukrainian designer, and I purchased these patterns when the war first broke out in the Ukraine. And so there you go. I will be making this into a pillow. I did leave off, if you recall, when I first started this project, I started putting in this border edge, but I'm leaving that off, and I'll be making this into some type of stand-up or pillow or something. So there we go with that. And with all of those projects, I stitched a total of This past week I stitched a total of 2,096 stitches. I'm going to put this back in here so I'll know where it's at. So I had a very good, you know, two and a half, or no, not 2.5, 2 weeks of stitching. I had a really good, on the first week of the month, starting on May the 1st, I stitched 718 stitches for the week. And then on this past week, from last Sunday, the 5th, to yesterday, the 11th, I stitched 2,096 stitches. So I feel like I did pretty good. I only missed 1 day of stitching last week, and, you know, things happen. I am having some adverse effects of some medication, and it is really throwing me for a loop. So, okay, now I am going to go into my investments, and then I will go into my plans, and then you can continue celebrating your Mother's Day, find another Flosstube to watch. Again, I am thankful to all of you that are joining me in the endeavor of hashtag mental health care Sal. I appreciate seeing all of your posts on Instagram. I am checking the hashtag regularly. So thank you again so very much for joining me in that endeavor. So I have my Stitchy bag of investments, and I picked up, okay, so I again went to go meet with Jennifer, the calculated stitcher. She lives in Texas. We had loads of fun together, me, her, and Liz at the, I went to, the name of the restaurant is called the Ford Garage. It was a very unique experience. It is all based upon the Ford Motor Company and the Ford Model T cars, and it was like a garage. It was awesome. The food was awesome. So if you have one in your area, I think there's a fly in here. Oh, there is a fly in here. Please make sure you check it out. I really did enjoy it. It was a great experience. So she, Jennifer, gave me this beautiful card. And it had a lovely note on it. And it really means a lot to me. It really touched my heart. So, and then she gave me this little baggie. And it has in it some thread jewelry. It has a snowflake and a snowman. Isn't that pretty? And it's from an Etsy seller, Sweet Autumn Stitching. So there's the information on the Etsy seller. And then bless her heart, she brought this all the way from Texas. And then she gifted me a Teresa Kogut print, framed and everything. And I absolutely love it. It will be displayed behind me on the display on my baker's rack behind me. But isn't it beautiful? Beautiful frame. It goes so well. So that was from my friend Jennifer. And I love it. I have had it sitting so that like I would not forget, and not that I would have forgotten, but you know, you put stuff away. So I was like, okay, don't put this away, just keep it where you can see it. But then I'm like trying not to put it up, so I'm gonna have to make some adjustments and rearrange some things up there. I'm ready to redo that whole thing. And like this fly like is like gangbusters. I don't even know where the fly came from. So I also received my fabric of the month from Color and Cotton, and it is a 32 count creme brulee. It's showing much lighter than what it is. It's a little deeper than that, with an orangey, peachy orangey undertone to it. I also received my Floss Frenzy from the Fat Quarter Shop, and that is, those are the colors that are in this month's palette. I also ordered a, you know, if I have one purple t-shirt by Athena, Stitching Goddess Designs, I have 15. I probably have 20 purple t-shirts. I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, okay, just pick a color. Because she's like, is it purple again? And I'm like, well, you know. But she put in some really cute Mental Health Matters sticker. I wish I could figure out where y'all find these stickers at, because like I would love to have Mental Health Matters stickers to pass out at like StitchCon or all the retreats that I'm going to this year. And then I got, I'm part of the cross stitch. I'm a cross stitch squad, which goes with the love heart stitching. Like, they're all purple. Most, unless she comes out and says, you know, this is the color of the t-shirt that you get, then I always end up with a purple t-shirt. So, thank you, Athena. You know, I love your shirts and I love you. I have stuff everywhere now. And I think that is all of... Oh, I picked up some more floss from Keepsakes when I was down there for the beautiful things. I'm having a really difficult time when I'm stitching on beautiful things. It calls for steamed broccoli, but the steamed broccoli that she used way back then is darker than the steamed broccoli that is being made now. So I'm going to just go with the steamed broccoli, and it'll just be a little different. So now that I have gone through my investments, I am going to go through my plans. I will be restarting Flea Market Flowers, which is by Lori Holt, this week. And here's what that looks like. And I actually have these 2 blocks completed. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to restart it on, when I first started stitching this, I believe I If I'm not mistaken, I believe I'm stitching it on, 16 count lamb's wool Ada by Which Else. Here is where I've gotten to. I'm going to modify and make this a finish. I'm going to take out these extra little bits here and make this into a small finish. And what I'm going to do now is restart it, and I'm going to do a 25 count 1/1, so that it is more manageable of a size for finishing. If you recall, when I was at Stitch North, I did a tiny tree 25/1, and I absolutely loved it. So I am going to restart this project on a 25 count potato. That's the color of the fabric, potato Lugana, and just work it that way, because this project is not calling to me. And so I'm hoping that with working it 25/1, maybe I'll feel more inclined to work on it. So I'll be starting that sometime this week, because flea market flowers is the theme for the magazine monthly. For me, the theme is farmers market, and I chose flea market flowers because you can buy flowers at a farmer's market. I am also going to keep working on my Whip Go projects. And I will be joining in an event starting on next Sunday called Mother May I through the Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge. I will also be starting I Am Enough on this coming Wednesday as part of the hashtag mental health care Sal. So those are my plans. One note about the mental health care Sal, and we I have a group of friends that we chat, and we have started, it's called 8 minutes, and the premise around the 8 minutes is to give, if you see your friend suffering, or they seem to be quiet, or this fly is going to bug me, if you notice a change in your friend, you ask them, do they need 8 minutes? Because most times people will give you an 8-minute synopsis of what they are going through. Now, it could turn into more than 8 minutes. It could turn into whatever it needs to turn into for your friend. But we, as a group of ladies, started using this, and it has worked phenomenal, because in 8 minutes, you seem to get off of your chest what you may need to get off your chest. And again, it may go longer than 8 minutes, but at least it opens up the way for the person to start communicating their feelings and what is going on in their life. So I would challenge you that if you see your friends or family members struggling or shutting down, and when I say shutting down, when a person goes quiet, there's usually something going on within them mentally, that you ask them, do they need 8 minutes? And see what they say. They may say, no, I don't need 8 minutes. I'm not talking about it. I'm not. But at least it opens up the doorway for someone to feel as though that they have the ability to discuss the issue with you. So that would be my recommendation for this week, is to use the 8 minutes. Do you need 8 minutes to discuss a problem with someone? I 8 minutes is a lot. It gives you a lot of time. It's shorter than 10, it's more than 5, and it gives you an opportunity to start a conversation that could help someone think through a situation that they're going through. And with that, I would like to again wish you a very happy Mother's Day. I hope that you are enjoying whatever kind of day that you want to have, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye.